Go. All right, welcome to another edition of Flash Fried. Yep, that's about it.
It's time to fly the frash.
Yep, Flash Fry, Friday Fry.
Time for some more uplifting news
Time to
on
Flash
Flash
Fried.
Fried.
Yeah.
There better be some good news.
Oh,
today.
there's. Let me see.
There better be some fucking good news today.
I'll start you off with. I'll try to start with some good news. I mean, I don't know if this is good news, but it's funny news.
Have you guys heard the good news?
This is
I need some good news.
All right.
Some genuine good news.
All right. This is not genuine good news. Sorry. But maybe, I don't know. It depends on your interpretation, I guess. Browns cut Jermaine Whitehead after rant that included death threats.
It says racist Twitter rant.
Yeah. Yep. Racist Twitter rant.
But he's black.
Yeah,
Well,
so
Anyway,
Kinda
so
confused.
Cleveland Browns have cut Jermaine Whitehead. Maybe he's racist because his name has white in it. You know? All right, so Jermaine Whitehead goes off after loss. So according to Zach Jackson of The Athletic, Whitehead was still in uniform replying to tweets from Fox and others on Twitter who were critical of his play. I guess he botched some kind of play or something.
Yeah, he fumbled or some shit.
A member of the Browns public relations team separated him from the media in the locker room after the game, and Whitehead did not seek to speak to reporters, Jackson said.
I wonder why that was.
The Browns put out a statement saying Whitehead's tweets were totally unacceptable and highly inappropriate, and that the team did not condone the language or behavior. Whitehead's efforts tackling today is a joke. Hashtag Browns. That's Dustin Fox, who's a checkmark guy, right? And so Jermaine Whitehead's like, "Come get in it, blood bitch, made ass little boy. I'm out there with a broke hand. Don't get smoked, fuck ass cracker.
Damn.
Don't get smoked, fuck ass cracker."
and
I mean, in this guy's defense, the dude that made that original post does kind of look like a fuck ass cracker.
Let's see.
Look at him.
Let's see how much of a fuck ass cracker he is.
Is he a big fuck ass cracker?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He looks like a fuck.
Yeah,
ass
I
cracker.
mean, in fairness to Jermaine, if I have ever seen a fuck ass cracker, that motherfucker right there is a fuck ass cracker.
Yeah, it looks like a school picture. Like he's
Yeah.
all turned all sideways and shit. It's horrible.
So Sports Nation Ohio has tweeted out something.
Yeah, we're going to look at those in a minute. Let's see. Let's learn a little bit about the backstory of this guy before we look at those. The Browns picked up Whitehead last season after the Green Bay Packers waived him. Whitehead joined the Packers in 2016 as an undrafted free agent out of Auburn. Whitehead was a starter this season but had little impact with 41 tackles and 1 interception for the Browns. The Browns season has been very difficult. The team is 2-6 and has fallen far short of expectations. Did anyone really expect the Browns to do well?
Dude, God, it was insufferable this year. Before, like, the Browns are the team that they're going to be this big explosive team this year. They have all the pieces, man. The Browns,
They've done that. I remember that.
They all, from
times
every
gone
team
by
says that.
when I used to pay attention to football. I've heard this like, "Oh, the Browns are going to be a real presence." They never are.
It's bullshit.
And it's because, honestly, and I know this shouldn't make any difference, but it really does. It's because they've got the worst name in the NFL.
Yeah, they're called the Browns, which makes you instantly think of shit.
Yeah, if I told you I have the Browns, you would think that I had diarrhea or something. It just sounds like shit related.
It would sound if someone's like clutching their stomach and like, "Oh, the Browns." You'd be like, "Oh shit,
Dude, the Cleveland-
we gotta get to a bathroom quick."
And what worse city to have that moniker than fucking Cleveland, dude? The
Right.
Cleveland, it's like flush this team down the fucking toilet.
Now, if they renamed themselves something cool, I think that they would be a force, dude. If they were like the Cleveland Avengers or some shit, the Cleveland Barbarians.
Yeah, dude, the Cleveland Ronin or something. Like, give them a cool fucking name. Like,
Yeah.
the Browns are like the least creative fucking name.
The
You know
Cleveland Ninjas.
what? I want to point out they have no brown on the uniforms. Their fucking helmet is
Yeah.
orange.
If
Yeah.
anything, y'all should be the Oranges, unless brown is supposed to refer to the fucking skin color of most of the players. Because
Even their fucking uniforms are running from the name.
yeah,
The uniforms don't even want to be
uniforms
it.
like we don't want to be brown. Anyway, so let's take a look at some of these other tweets from this guy here.
That's the next tab I opened up.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, here we
Yep.
go. Here it is. Okay, so this is Sports Nation Ohio. Browns player Jermaine Whitehead just got his Twitter suspended 15 minutes after losing to the Broncos.
Wow.
Things are going well. All right, so let's take a look. We already saw some of this. So just saw two for 110 yards and a touchdown. Fuck boy. Jermaine Whitehead says, "Don't get shot at, little bitch. Can you whoop my ass? Fuck football. Let me know when you need the address."
Whoa.
And RH is like, this RH guy is like, "You probably miss."
Oh, damn.
So then Brian Schaffler is like, "Give me a time and place. You suck."
Oh my God.
And then he goes and posts his fucking address here. 80 Lou Groza Boulevard, Berea, Ohio, 44017. Any fucking day of the week? Question marks. Any fucking day of the week. Are you staying any day of the week? Or
I
are
think
you asking any day of the week?
Maybe this was his resignation from the Browns, so he knew he was going to have a lot of time on his hands.
Cracker.
Where does the whole cracker thing come from?
I don't know. He just doesn't like crackers.
No.
man.
I mean, just the word.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, what's it based?
You want to know the etymology of cracker?
I just wonder. I've heard people say it's because the whips,
Maybe, yeah, whip cracker.
or that, like, saltine crackers are white.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure.
But what's the cracker thing? I don't get it.
I've heard the origin of honky, which was like white insurance agents would be collecting the money from black people, so they would just honk their horn to get them to come out and pay.
Oh.
So that's why they called them honkies. They'd be honking the horn to get them to come out. Like, 'cause they wouldn't go actually up to their door. It was like, no, you have to come bring me the money.
Here. So, blah, blah, blah. "I'm gonna kill you, bitch. That's on blood." I don't understand what "that's on blood" means.
It's a gang term.
Can you explain it to me? Or
It's like the Bloods. The Bloods and the Crips. So he's saying on the Bloods, I'm going to kill you.
Okay, so he's a blood?
Or it could be like he's referring to his family.
Oh.
Like, I put that on my mama, but it's quicker to say that's on,
Oh,
blood.
like he's saying,
Yeah.
like, okay, I get it. So that's on blood.
So
is
it's
like,
one of those
yeah,
two things.
Gotcha.
See, I'm hip to the streets.
I'm not.
I know a lot of the lingo.
If some motherfucker came to me like, "That's on blood," I'd be like, I
I-
don't know what the fuck you talking about.
I've got a
actually-
strikingly well-developed street vernacular, TJ.
Wow.
Wow.
I speak fluent Ebonics.
So
I'm
anyway,
Paul.
but you don't know what cracker means, so let's get into that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who does know what cracker
Secret
means?
history of the word cracker, man. There you go. Jantel Martin was told creepy-ass cracker was following him, blah, 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 blah. Cracker 2013, blah, 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 blah. Where the fuck is the origin? Cracker, the old
There it is.
standby.
It's suspected that it's a shortened version of whip cracker.
Yep. The old standby of Anglo insults was first noted in the mid-18th century, making it much older than the United States itself. It was used to refer to poor whites, particularly those inhabiting the frontier regions of Maryland, Virginia, and Georgia. It's suspected a shortened version of whip cracker, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we were just, yeah, it's pretty easy.
Right. But it says that it was poor whites. So these aren't even like, this isn't even like a slave owner term.
Right. This is kind of just like something like,
It's like the original poor white trash.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were driving like oxen with whips. That's why they called them.
Since the manual labor that involved driving livestock with a whip, not to mention the other brutal arenas.
I see.
Yeah, so basically it was like poor white people.
So it wasn't like cracking the whips on the slaves. It was like the toiling white workers who were cracking
Just
whips.
another way to keep the poor white man down.
You know
man.
what?
I guess
you know what
so.
those black people were saying, dude? It's like, look, if you're gonna oppress me, you're not even like a rich white person oppressing me. You're like a fucking white trash white person oppressing me, and I'll take you seriously. Go make some money. Go be a land baron. Then you can come and subjugate me. Okay? We'll talk.
I think it's Twitter that's to blame for this shit, honestly.
Paul blames Twitter.
Twitter just like, it's like set up if you're a public figure, or even a semi-public figure, you're instantly getting goaded by everybody. And then if you respond with anger, righteous or not, you're the asshole, not the fucking literal fucking cavalcade of people calling him a fuck boy. Learn to fucking tackle, fuck boy. Fire this stupid, talentless hack piece of shit. Only 41 tackles all season. Fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's supposed to sit there and just read that and go, yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't mind.
Oakley.
I really don't think it'd be a problem if he clapped back if it was like if he didn't threaten to kill people.
I don't know.
I think he'd probably be all right. I think he'd probably still have his job if he was just like, "Fuck you, bitch."
See, but why can't you meet fire with fire? You know what I mean? They're talking about like him losing his livelihood. Mm-hmm. They're talking about him being fired from a position that he takes very seriously, and a game that he hypes himself up for and works very hard for and takes very seriously. And all these people are just trashing his entire life work. So he's got to come up with like a slick ass fucking HuffPo style clapback. Like, why can't he give them the same animosity and shitty language that they're giving him?
I mean, he could. I mean,
when he does, the same people that were fucking poking him with a stick or go. Oh,
I mean, he could have easily been like, you're.
But the thing is,
someone says you suck at your job and you didn't tackle enough people. You'd be like, well, you suck at your job and you're a shitty journalist or whatever.
Well, it's more than that.
You don't have to go and be like,
he knows he knows he's going to be held to a higher standard, and if and that organization has every right to fire him if they want to fire him. If they don't want to have him on the team for that reason,
no.
And I agree with you. I understand what you're saying. Like, if someone's provoked constantly and they act out, obviously, I don't think it was really threatening anyone. I think it was just in a moment of anger. He was reacting.
I mean, he put his address out there and said, anytime, any place, come on.
This type of shit, like, dude, back in the day in football, people would actually beat people up and still remain on the goddamn team. Like, there was no...
Yeah, I agree with you, yeah.
There was no, you know what I mean? Like, football has an identity crisis. On one hand, you've got a game that's literally involves dudes dressing up in armor and clashing into one another like fucking rage-fueled beasts all game.
Dude, like the 60s.
But then off the field, when one of them flips out and gets angry, everybody's like,
All right. So I actually agree with you on that point.
It's just bullshit. I hate this stupid shit.
In the 60s and 70s, dude, if you watch the film on that and hear about the guys that played, dude, they were crazy.
Oh,
They used to beat the fucking ever-loving shit out of each other. Like,
each other, other people on the fucking street. They get in bar fights. They get in car accidents.
Yeah, drunk. If you lipped up to some fucking big football player back in the day, it wasn't just like he's going to be like,
you were going to get bitch slapped in your mouth. There was no Twitter to do that on back in the day. See, that's the thing. All of this stuff, now, I don't think the guy should have threatened to kill people, but I don't think he should be fired for it either. I don't think calling somebody a fuckboy...
I mean, apparently he wasn't a very good player anyway, so...
Whatever.
I mean, if he was a star player, I don't think he would have been fired for this.
Fuck no, yeah. If a star player...
I don't think so.
Nowadays, dude...
They would have been suspended.
They would have been suspended. He'd had to go do some commercials or something.
I don't know. I don't like this.
Oops, I did a racism. Oops, I threatened to kill people.
I hate this fucking... I hate this, like, false dichotomy that Twitter sets up, where it's like public figures always have to be like, yes, very measured clapback. I rise above all of this. But everybody that is, like, in their mentions and shit is allowed to just be a reprehensible scumfuck, say the worst things you can fucking imagine about you.
Do you think Paul's channeling his own rage right now?
Of course I am.
Projecting his own rage?
You guys have all experienced this shit, though.
No, me never. Never once.
Oh, come on, Scotty.
Never heard an unkind word on the Twitter.
I've never said a mean word to anyone on Twitter.
Just bullshit. We're just expecting people to pretend like they're fucking... cigarillo smoking aristocrats. I mean,
I agree with most of what you said, but I do think his tweets went a little too far. I don't know.
I don't think a tweet can go too far.
I think it can. I think when it amounts to a death threat, it probably can. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. ABC News anchor caught on mic saying network quashed Jeffrey Epstein story. This just broke this morning.
From Project Veritas.
Yeah, Project Veritas, far right-wing, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter in this case, their allegiances or any of that shit, because the tape kind of just speaks for itself.
Right.
So anyway, we don't need to fucking look at all that. There's the story here. This is Amy. I don't know if it's pronounced. Is that Robach?
Robach.
Yeah, that's Amy Robach, an ABC News anchor. She's here on the fucking ABC News set. And she's about to talk candidly.
Yeah, she's caught on like a hot mic.
Yeah, about the Epstein thing. I guess someone's talking to her. She's on mic and she's being recorded. I don't think she knows she's on mic and being recorded. Anyway, here's what she had to say when she's not acting in her official capacity as an anchor woman.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate.
All right, I wish they hadn't put this stupid heartbeat in the fucking
That's
background.
how you know that it's a Project Veritas joint. TJ.
Yeah, like, I don't think something like this needs you to embellish it with your fucking stupid logo and your goddamn heartbeat in the background.
Yeah, I don't mind the closed captioning or anything like that.
Yeah, closed caption it, but otherwise, leave it the fuck alone. Let us fucking decide for ourselves what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, the stupid Project Veritas logo, whatever.
All right, anyway.
I will.
Some minor grievance.
That also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep. Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. And I had it all 3 years ago.
So Disney's come out, Disney ABC, because of course Disney owns ABC and everything else.
What don't they own?
Right. They've come out and said, well, yeah, it's true about this, her trying to push this story, but, it just wasn't, she didn't have the evidence. This evidence wasn't strong enough. It didn't meet our journalistic standards of integrity.
Oh, yeah, that's why it didn't
That's
come out.
why we didn't do it.
Of course.
Well,
Good on ABC.
a lot of people have pointed out this is the same fucking ABC News that literally showed footage from a Kentucky gun range and said it was like war footage from Syria. Right. They've done a few other things that people have pointed out that's like, okay, so this met your standard, and this met your standard, and this met your standard, but this story didn't meet your standard.
Well, she even talks about that. They want access to the royal family, which is a big news story. It's like they're getting married, they're having children. And obviously, if they run a story about one of the people in the royal family, they're going to get locked out of that. They're not going to have that opportunity.
I mean, there's a good fucking chance that probably was just a cover that they gave to her. Because, if this dude is involved with Alan Dershowitz and Bill Clinton, the most powerful people in the country,
Well, that's just
it's,
one.
it's likely that people that are sitting on the board of ABC News were on those planes or in his presence or took part in his services at some point. There's every... if this is indeed as far-reaching up the scale as people implicate it being, then there's no number. There's any number of people who are likely involved with this guy, and they have every reason to want this to just go away.
Well, I mean, think about this too. It's like I heard about this story and I realized, this is owned by Disney. ABC is owned by Disney. There's gonna be this big backlash against ABC. Part of my mind is like, fuck, I got that Disney stock. And I just have a few shares of Disney stock, and I'm kind of already I'm worried about that a little bit. But imagine if I had, millions of dollars tied up into these companies and shit.
Right.
Yeah, then you want the story to go away too?
Then I'd be like, oh fuck, man, goddamn, I hate this story.
Because at this point,
so a lot of these people, they have all this money tied up into, these different interests and shit. So they don't want the house of fucking cards to topple over.
even if they're not directly implicated in what Epstein did, at this point, all of these major media outlets are complicit in burying the story. If what this chick is saying has any credibility to it,
it seems to.
Then they play a role. Now the story is not just Jeffrey Epstein conducting this high-power, high-profile ring of child sex trafficking.
They helped him cover it up.
Now it's the American news media actively squashed any kind of story about this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Here's some further comments. We can take a look.
So, do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because he made his whole living blackmailing people. There were a lot of men in those planes, a lot of men who visited that island, a lot of powerful men who came into that apartment. When I heard he was found dead, Mr. Giselle, someone was like, I knew immediately. And they made it seem as though he made that suicide attempt 2 weeks earlier, but his lawyers claimed that he was roughed up by his cellmate around the neck. That was all like to plant the seed, and then that's why I really believe it. Like, really believe it.
So, obviously, that's a little bit less, whatever. That's more of like her coming out with an opinion that I think pretty much everyone already agrees with. I don't think anyone out. I mean, I can't think of barely anybody
Dude,
who thinks that Epstein committed suicide.
if there's been a moment of national unity in the last year, it's been the left and the right agreeing that he didn't fucking commit suicide.
Yeah. I mean, like, you got AOC retweeting fucking Daily Beast reporting on this fucking on this shit. You know, like, so it's like there's people pretty far on America's political left, pretty far on America's political right. Everybody fucking pretty much agrees that Epstein was killed. The only people who don't seem to be on board with that are these mainstream media conglomerates. They're the only ones who don't seem to be pushing that narrative at all. If anything, it seems like they're trying to downplay and squash that narrative at every turn. And that makes you think, like, you know, even if there's people, you know, like they obviously feel like this is an existential threat to the house of cards that has been built.
I mean, but on both sides, it's the political class, too, at least the entrenched kind of status quo political class that doesn't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole either. Neither side. That's the media and basically the DNC, RNC wing of both parties.
Right.
And the official investigation.
But, you know, we've had, like I said, AOC as a politician has put out some stuff on this.
Well, she's a little outside of...
She's a little bit out. Yeah, she's a little bit outside the establishment bubble. I'm always afraid that they're going to suck her into that fucking bubble. I mean, I'm sure that
they will.
The tendrils have already kind of started to wrap around.
Of course they have.
But, you know, for now,
she'll either toe the line or she'll face a primary that she just doesn't win.
Yeah, or something along those lines.
Uh-oh.
Crazy shit, though. Yeah, but we'll be taking a look at that. I'm sure there'll be some new developments. We already know there's some sort of what's that petition circulating to get ABC to tell the truth, which, you know, they're gonna wipe their ass with that. Sorry to tell you.
Yeah, they still haven't answered the petition to release the fucking red liquid from the dark sarcophagus yet.
Yeah.
So what makes them think they're getting any Epstein info?
ABC ain't releasing shit. They don't give a fuck about your petition.
It's not in their best interest. Well, it's not in the best interest of the politicians who they need access to those politicians, and also it's not in the best interest of ABC to go against those people. Now, right? Would it be brave to take an actual stand? But why does ABC want to take a stand?
ABC ain't in the bravery business.
Yeah,
Who knows who's exposed legally by taking that stand?
That's what I'm saying.
Who knows what kind of legal exposure? The obvious question of why did you wait until now to come out about this? You know what I mean? There's just and see the sad thing is they win. Because they realize that if they ignore this long enough, that eventually we'll all get weary of harping about it, and it'll just become another little meme in the past that people reference every once in a while.
And it's happened a million times.
You know a perfect
before.
example of that? So, BlizzCon happened recently,
Yeah.
and the Diablo 4 cinematic trailer dropped, and how much people were like, Diablo 4! Like, wait a minute.
Weren't we all mad at Blizzard a minute ago?
We're a bunch of people mad at
No,
Blizzard.
now we're excited about Diablo 4.
Hearthstone. Oh, God, they fucked that guy over the Hong Kong shit. That's old news. Diablo 4 looks great.
Oh, dude, Blizzard is right back in people's good graces again. It was just momentary, temporary outrage. And, you know, this one has better legs than most of these little flash-in-the-pan overnight stories do, but it's going to suffer the same fate. It's going to the same graveyard.
Yeah, ABC Disney is going to be like, oh, shit. Oh, we squashed that story. Well,
They control that narrative.
here's the Mandalorian, you know?
Right. They realize...
Here's our new streaming service.
They realize that they hold all the cards in this fight. They control that narrative. They're the ones that make the news. So it's like they can just inundate us with other shit until we finally just get weary of it.
And the thing is that once you destroy any and all faith in the institution of news, then, you know, everybody can just have their own opinion on the news, which has already happened to a large degree. And then the news is just whatever any fucking crackpot out there thinks the news should be.
Right.
And then, you know, you just kind of devolve further into this kind of post-truth world where, you know,
We've already seen that with
the news is whatever any
We've
random,
already seen it with Rick
everyone
Wiles.
just lives in their own fucking world of their own creation, basically.
We covered sometimes, you know, the right-wing watch stuff and other crazy news sources where
Oh, yeah.
people have this narrative they make up whole cloth, and there's no evidence to back any of it up, and there's a bunch of people, millions of people eating that shit up.
Oh, that sounds good to me. That sounds like reality to me, so that's where I'm going with.
I mean, some of those people are super fringe, but people like Alex Jones, they just showed you the power of that. Like, he was one of the fucking rising stars on YouTube until they basically were just like, no, we're not going to let you rise
No,
anymore.
we don't like this.
I mean, if they had not artificially cut him off, he probably would be even higher now.
Well, let's talk about some entertainment news items. Now, we watched a while back the trailer for Bad Boys fucking 3,
Yeah.
and we found it completely
Wanting.
underwhelming.
Devoid of any kind of spark or life or interest.
Right. So let's take a look if they did any better with their fucking second trailer.
All right.
I'm guessing no.
How come there's what is this
Trailer
weird,
intros.
Yeah, what is with this weird new phenomena of trailer for the trailer before the trailer?
I don't know.
Like, enough, all right?
I don't know.
I don't get that.
You want to know why? Because now all these search engines and stuff, and like YouTube specifically, they have to have these 5-second previews so people can't skip it. Because remember, the True View, you can skip it after 5 seconds. So they'll cut this really quick, like, okay, you can't miss this part of it.
Got it.
Okay. So this is YouTube's fault, is what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay.
Good old ad targeting.
Love it.
Lost your damn mind.
Oh, my God. How many times have you seen that
You
scene?
done lost your goddamn mind. Martin Lawrence, come on, dude. Come on.
Dude, it's heart pumping action so far. I don't know what you guys are bitching about.
I just hate this fucking thing where there's the one dude's driving the car all crazy, and the other dude's job is just be like, God damn!
His job is to be the audience in the seat, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, reacting to the craziness.
Oh shit, what you doing? Ah! You know, it's like
Yeah.
I've seen it so many fucking times. Enough.
Well, the thing is if you do, car stunts and shit that are badass enough, you don't need to have the guy telling you how crazy and insane
Yeah.
and over the top it
I
is.
should be in the audience saying that shit.
Right.
I shouldn't need Martin Lawrence as my fucking avatar to tell me how I'm feeling.
Well, it's a great opportunity for visual storytelling.
But when you're doing the typical Bayhem shit, where it's just quick cuts and reaction shots and I don't know.
Ugh. All right.
And the Batmobile don't hold the road like this, bitch. Tight hats and fast cars don't make you Batman, Mike. Get me the fuck out of this car.
Get me the fuck out of this trailer.
I know, right? So the trailer begins with him seemingly pointlessly driving recklessly and endangering the lives of a bunch of people, and
And look at that
everybody
scene.
reacting. And
What did the car do? It spun out a couple of times.
Yeah.
It went fast around a corner a couple of times.
Right.
There was,
Nothing out of the ordinary, really. Nothing over the top where you're like, wow, I couldn't do that.
Mike, we got more time behind us than in front.
Man, please. I'm gonna be running.
I just want to point out too that this movie was obviously named after that fucking song from the show Cops.
yeah.
That shit ain't even on the air anymore. That's not even part of the
Pops
fucking.
isn't even on the air anymore?
No,
I think it is.
no, it's not. Oh, well, maybe it is, but they moved it to like.
Yeah,
no, I
it's
think
like-
they canceled it outright because
No.
now everyone watches that live PD shit instead.
I think Cops still exists, though.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
I
All
don't
right,
know.
how much you want to bet?
I haven't gone
Let's
looking
check.
for
I'm gonna
Cops.
check.
How much you want to bet?
Cops TV show.
$20, CJ.
I know it was moved off of Fox, which it used to be on.
Yeah, it's not on Fox anymore.
I think it's on any
The
of them.
live PD has definitely replaced it, though.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's on. What channel is it on now? It's on Paramount Network.
Oh, wow.
So it went from Fox up here to Spike, and now it's on Paramount Network.
So
So yeah, it's basically gone. Okay, I mean I guess it's still technically
It's
around.
not- it's technically still around, TJ.
But I mean, this used to be like the hot show on one of the major fucking networks, and now it's fucking not.
well, someone came up with
it's
a
on Paramount.
someone
fucking
came
network.
up with a better concept to do that show.
It's a hot mess.
and now everyone watches that live PD shit, which by the way is a terrible fucking show.
Well, of course.
But
Cops
whatever.
is a terrible show. It's not. Like,
Yeah.
It's not really thoughtful or substantive programming.
If anything, it's just like meant to like terrify the populace into fucking compliance. But okay, whatever.
Running down criminals till I'm 100. Not me. I'm retiring.
I mean, I saw how you were driving earlier. You are a criminal. That's you endangered like fucking so many lives.
Yeah,
just
whole
to
bus
fucking
full of people.
impress your fucking friend.
Nah, man, he's so skilled, TJ. No one was in danger.
No
at
one
any
was
time.
ever in any
Look,
danger.
I'll be honest, with you, no one was in danger at any point in that.
I gotta take my chance with the criminals. At least they don't indiscriminately fucking endanger the public.
It's time we be good men. Who the fuck wants to sing that song?
Mike, I'm putting you on a
Oh,
new
this
team.
January.
You're working with Ammo now.
Cap, Ammo is a high school musical boy band with guns.
You look great, Grandpa.
So you're that guy.
There's always one.
Man, we gotta do this thing where they like team up with
God.
like the young new generation of bad boys.
This movie
thing.
is dead on arrival.
Yeah, because both of these dudes are way outside the range of doing this type of shit.
All right,
so
we too old, so
You gotta
team us
have-
up with like the young new people.
you gotta have the youngsters come in.
It's a dump ground. It's a fucking January dumping ground movie. It's gonna be dog shit. It looks like dog shit. It walks like dog shit. It smells like dog shit. It's dog shit.
Yeah. And I gotta say, it's been a while since I've seen Will Smith drop an F-bomb, and that was an awkward F-bomb, dude.
Yeah, you can tell he's not comfortable
didn't
saying
feel-
it anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem like he feels comfortable even saying fuck.
Well, he's
Why
transitioned.
the fuck?
Why
He's
the
family friendly now,
fuck?
dude. He's moved on to that. He fucking was the genie. Come on, he can't. He's moving on to those roles. I don't know why he's in this movie.
money?
Right up till there's not.
That's what I like. Teamwork.
Yeah, but you know what? No, fuck that. It isn't fucking money because Will Smith's already loaded.
So what?
He got to
can
play the
always
ga-
use a little more.
I mean, do you think I really got paid that much to do this piece of shit?
Probably.
Yeah,
Well,
probably
I guess.
so.
Will Smith, he probably got
yeah,
paid.
he's Will Smith. Let's see. Will Smith salary. Bad Boys
I just don't understand, like,
3?
he should
Is
be
this 3?
Bad Boys for Life is what it's called.
For life.
You should be more choosy, if anything. If you already fucking have all the money in the goddamn world, like, why would you just shit on your career even further than Will Smith already has?
I mean, because if you've got one house in the Bahamas and there's another one that you want, you can just do this stupid movie and get it.
$17 million.
$17 million to be in this piece. Well, I guess I'd do the movie too. You know.
Apparently, though, back in the day, I think both these guys used to command about $20 million a picture. It's pretty rare for actors to make that these days because it's just not. Names don't sell movies the way they used to. But apparently, Martin Lawrence only made like $6 million for it.
Well, because
He's
yeah.
Martin Lawrence, you know.
We haven't seen Martin Lawrence since the last
Yeah.
Bad
Martin
Boys,
Lawrence.
so-
No, I'm not saying that about Martin Lawrence. I know precisely why he did this movie.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence. There's no question why.
Yeah, $6 million for Martin Lawrence now is like a huge fucking deal.
Thank God, some money.
He must have fucking sucked Will Smith's dick to get him to
Please,
do
Will.
this.
Will, I need you to do this movie. Will,
Because
please, God.
I guarantee you the only reason this movie got made is because Will Smith agreed to do it.
I mean, yeah. The only reason this movie got made is because they were willing to pay Will Smith $17 million to do it.
Yeah. I'm guessing this is probably produced by Michael Bay or something.
Who knows? He'll probably let us
Or did
know.
he direct?
Marcus, somebody's trying to kill me.
Did he direct it? I don't think Michael Bay. Did Michael Bay direct this piece of shit?
I don't
All
fucking
right,
know.
we'll look it up
Wants to kill
afterwards.
you.
I don't trust a person that
I'll
don't
look it
want
up
to
while
kill.
we're
Hell,
doing it.
put my name up there. Thanks a lot. We got it, Marcus. We appreciate it.
Hey, an explosion. Cool.
But family is the only thing that matters. So I'm not letting you go on a suicide mission alone.
One last time. One last time.
No thanks. I think last time should have been the last time.
Come on.
I predict that Martin Lawrence is going to die in this one.
You think so?
Yeah.
Good.
Michael Bay did not direct.
Oh, shit! Get in! There's a pit bull! Let's go! Come on, let's go! Come on! Yes! No! Where the hell are you getting all these helicopters? Mike! Oh, this is my wife's car. Come to the front door. She knows. She always knows.
Well, that looks absolutely atrocious in every fucking conceivable
So this
way.
is directed by Adil El Arbi and Bilal Falah.
Okay.
Um,
Well, they don't know.
Okay.
They don't know what they're doing either.
I don't recognize any of the movies that guy did.
Just a cash grab movie. Just
all
a
it is.
nostalgia cash grab.
It's just a couple probably fucking studio directors.
Bad Boys for Life.
I got no fucking ideas. Why don't we do Bad Boys again? Is Martin Lawrence able to move still?
Is Martin Lawrence still alive? Cool.
Yeah, he's kind of fat, though. All right, well, we'll just make him like the reluctant participant in this. You know, he's retired now. And
He reluctant.
Did we already do this with Lethal Weapon? Yeah, we'll do it again.
Can always do it again.
Well, I can always do it again. Trot this shit out of me.
Paul, I know you like horror movies, so
I do.
I thought it might be interesting to take a look at what some famous directors pick as their favorite horror movie.
I gotta be honest with you. A lot of these famous directors, when they give these answers, they give these highfalutin, movies.
Well, that's why I knew you'd want an opportunity to criticize them too.
All right, let's see. Let's see what some of these directors pick.
Let's see what they got. Looking to watch a scary movie? Why not take a suggestion from these fuckers? All right. So Robert Eggers, who the fuck is that?
Who the fuck cares?
All right, we'll just if you don't. Josephine Decker, don't care. Guillermo del Toro. All right. Eyes Without a Face.
I've
never heard
seen,
of that.
I've never seen Eyes Without a Face.
It does sound highfalutin though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They
But if
pick
it-
all these,
Georges Franchou's 1960s French-Italian horror film, Eyes Without a Face, stars Pierre Brasseur as a plastic surgeon obsessed with performing a face transplant on his daughter after she survives a horrible car crash.
You guys haven't seen this movie? Not surprised.
Scotty's watched it many times.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Scotty knows every frame of this film.
I don't know.
Nah.
Quentin Tarantino says Audition.
Oh,
I've seen Audition.
I won't say it's my favorite horror movie, but it's a decent.
It's a
horror
movie
flick.
that, like, honestly, it kind of tries to sucker you into thinking you're watching a very different kind of movie, because it kind of starts almost like the way like a romantic comedy or something would start, and then by the end, it's like one of the most fucked up things possible.
Oh, the piano wire. Yeah,
But
dude.
it's a pretty fucking slow movie overall, and there's not really a lot of scares. It's all kind of focused on that big finale,
Meh.
which is kind of cool, I guess.
Disappointing pick.
Disappointing. Martin Scorsese on The Innocents.
This is definitely a Martin Scorsese kind of
Yes, The Innocents.
Oh,
the
Jack
finest horror film of all time. Jack Clayton's 1961 psychological horror film. Have you heard of that?
Nope.
Well, it's regarded as one of the most terrifying movies ever made, Paul. So
Damn.
Clearly-
Guess I've just missed out.
guess
clearly, you are no horror
Clearly,
fan, sir.
I'm in the cattle car.
Low. Edgar Wright, Dead of Night. What's
All right.
this?
I've actually seen Dead of Night.
All right, what is it?
It's a movie about a dude with a ventriloquist that the dummy fucking tells him what to do things and shit.
Oh. So kind of like that Tales from the Crypt episode,
Well, it's an
I guess?
anthology. They say it's an anthology movie. I've seen the fucking ventriloquist short from it.
Oh.
It's 4 short films. See,
Oh, I gotcha. Horror anthology. Hey, you liked this movie. I know you did.
I did like this movie. Yeah.
David Lowery agrees with you. Do you know who David Lowery is?
Mm-mm.
Me neither.
No clue.
They need to show like the resume of these filmmakers, so I know how seriously to take their opinion.
I am surprised to see someone list Hereditary as their top pick. But hey,
Hereditary is a super polarizing movie. Like, pretty much half the people that see it just hate the fuck out of it,
Oops, sorry.
and the other half, the people that see it, love it. And there's endless arguments about whether it's just boring and slow and derivative or groundbreaking and cool.
I put this in kind of the middle. I don't think it's a horrible movie. I don't think it's a great movie. I'm kind of in the middle on it, personally.
Well, there you go.
I have not seen it, so I don't know.
The enlightened centrist Scotty
I think-
once again.
I think you should.
Fucking enlightened century. This guy directed some movie called he directed the Pete's Dragon remake, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool, good for him. I like Misery.
Oh, cool.
That's Jordan Peele's pick.
It's a good one.
I can kind of see Jordan Peele getting down with that. But my question is, how does he like a movie without any black people in it?
Yeah, that takes place in Maine.
What the hell, Jordan Peele?
It's a
But
very unwoke pick from Jordan Peele.
yeah, I mean, like, it's not very fucking woke of you. You should have picked Tales from the Hood or something.
Yeah.
Damn, now you're the fucking racist, dude.
Hey, I'm just trying to keep it real. Jennifer Kent says the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm gonna figure out who the fuck she is.
I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I don't really put it on the pedestal. A lot of people do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, she directed the Babadook and some other shit.
definitely-
Okay, Babadook is a good
It's
movie.
a fun horror flick to watch.
Um,
Oh, The Fly.
see, you guys fucking. I'm still pissed about you guys fucking kicking The Fly off that list. It's one of the best fucking movies of all time. But you guys are stupid. What am I gonna do?
Sorry,
You
TJ.
caved quick, dude. You didn't try to defend
Yeah,
this.
you
Because what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
I wanted to see if you had the fucking gusto to defend it.
I
You
did.
didn't.
You didn't.
Sam Raimi, Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, shit.
That makes sense.
Sam
I mean,
Raimi
I-
coming
Obviously,
through.
a pretty big influence on
Dude,
Evil Dead. And
It's.
shit.
I got to be honest with you. It's the first movie that I've seen that I feel deserves to be listed amongst like the best horror movies of all time. So there
what
you
about
go.
The Innocents, Paul?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about The
Scorsese
Innocents.
says The Innocents is way better than this piece of
Well, he's a
shit.
film snob. Sam Raimi gives an answer that's more in line with the taste of most people.
I don't know who any of that
No, I
shit
don't.
is. Oh, Christopher Nolan says Alien.
Also
I can
a
also
good-
see that.
Also a good pick.
It should be
dude.
on the list for sure.
Yeah.
See, I have a particular kind of taste in horror movies.
yeah.
And that tends towards schlock, although I can appreciate these high budget.
This is not
kinda
schlock,
No,
though.
it's not at all. It's not at all. Like I was saying, I can appreciate these more high budget horror movies when they hit the mark. But I have a real affinity for the low budget angle that most horror movies were forced to take throughout history.
Because they have a gritty, like, because they're not spending a shit ton of money, I feel like they don't have as much to lose, so they just fucking go balls to the wall way more often.
It also forces a great creativity
Right.
out of them and a great economy out of them. Like, how do we make this happen on this fucking limited budget? But when the budget reins are released, as is the case in Alien, you oftentimes get a good movie. So I can appreciate these higher budget ones, but man, I love that schlock.
Absolutely. Andy Muschietti, that's the guy who directed the new It movie, so I don't respect his opinion.
Yeah, I think
James
Near Dark
Wan,
is-
the others. That
No,
looks
you know what?
stupid.
No, dude.
All
Like
right.
I got to be honest with you. The
All right.
others. Go
Okay,
back down to
the
the
others here. Gotcha.
Yeah, dude. The others.
I don't
This-
even know nothing about it.
Dude, this movie doesn't get talked about enough.
Well, I don't even know. I never even heard of the fucking thing.
It's really good. It's got a twist, and some people, might guess the twist of the movie. I didn't the first time I watched
So
it.
James Wan is the director of The Conjuring and Furious 7, and he wrote the original Saw. That's what he's about.
Okay. So yeah, no, this movie just deserves. I don't know if it's one of the best horror movies of all time, but it's really good.
Dude, I saw go up, TJ.
Go up
Yeah, one more.
to the fucking Muschietti
Yeah,
one.
Yeah, Near Dark. Dude, I saw
What
this
the
list.
fuck is Near Dark?
It's a vampire fucking horror movie, dude.
All right.
I saw this fucking listed on so many fucking like best 80s horror movie lists, and I watched it. And I gotta tell you, I was thoroughly unimpressed with this movie.
That's oftentimes the case. I think when these like movies get hyped up. When I haven't seen them, I go back and watch them, and they very rarely. I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, this one has Lance Henriksen in it too. Like, which you normally like. I was kind of
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
like
he's
a Lance
he's
Henriksen.
a pretty good fucking actor. But it was just this movie. It was all over the place.
You know what? I have seen this movie.
Yeah, it's just not that great. It's not that great of a vampire.
Now that I'm
movie.
reading the description, I realize I have.
and it
actually
takes
seen
too much of the magic out of the vampire as a fucking foil, in my opinion.
Antichrist,
Never
kind of like a
seen it.
schlock horror, not schlock, shock horror kind
Yeah.
of thing from Lars von Trier,
Yep.
who I like his shit. It's really pretentious though. I haven't actually watched Antichrist, but I've seen a few other ones. Bo Burnham on Raw. Don't know what that is.
Yep.
Don't give a fuck about Bo Burnham's opinion. Eli Roth, terrible director, but good choice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. See, I like seeing.
Why don't you make your movies like Creepshow then, you stupid fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Eli Roth, you cocksucker. I'm even more pissed that you have good taste.
Because he can't.
Ugh.
He can't do it, dude.
He can at least try. He
can
doesn't
ma-
even fucking try.
Hey, you know what, TJ? He can make Hostel.
Fucking. Ugh.
Want to see some German woman kill some young
I
teenage
seriously want to
American
fucking.
girls?
Okay, never mind. I shouldn't say it. I just got mad at someone else for doing death threats.
Eraserhead.
Ben Wheatley on Eraserhead. Okay. I don't even really. Is Eraserhead even a horror movie?
It's a David Lynch movie, so yes and no.
Okay.
All David Lynch movies are kind of horror movies at the core of them, except for Dune. Dune kind of stands out. Like
Dune is
sore
a
thumb.
horror bull movie.
No, it's not. You're wrong.
William Friedkin. Don't know who that is. Funny Games. I heard that's a pretty disturbing movie. I've never actually seen it.
Yeah, I like to see it. I've heard of this movie too, but I've never actually watched it.
It's supposed to be really dark
Yeah, I haven't seen it
and
either.
fucked up. Let me see who William Friedkin is, so I can judge how
William
how seriously do I take your.
Friedkin.
Oh, he directed the fucking French Connection and shit. He's like a classic director.
Oh,
Directed
okay.
The Exorcist too. Killer Joe. That's an underrated one. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Whoa.
James Gunn's pick is
James Gunn's favorite horror movie is Green Room.
James Gunn has horrible taste in horror movies. I have no idea why he would say this.
Yeah, this movie.
Paul, you reviewed this movie back
did.
when you used to do that.
Yeah, I did. It's I don't know, dude. It really
You were
underwhelming
unimpressed
movie.
with this one.
It's
Yeah.
boring. I'll tell you, the biggest sin in this movie is boring. Patrick Stewart, even though he's a great actor, is just like he has no gravitas in this movie at
It's
all.
boring and it's nonsensical in so many ways.
And by the way,
that
from your description of it, it really didn't sound to me like a horror movie. Is it supposed to be a horror movie?
it's like an action suspense movie. It has horror elements
okay.
for sure. There's some dark guy chasing you with an axe type of shit towards the end, but none of it makes any fucking sense.
I agree with you there.
I don't get it. I mean, like, I like some of James Gunn's work, but man, this fucking, how's this? You're gonna put this out there as your favorite,
Dude,
Ugh.
these fucking directors all try and pick something that isn't going to be on other lists, with the exception of a couple.
Yeah, Chris Nolan and Sam Raimi definitely made
Oh,
choices
yeah.
that you
Jasper
would see.
No, un chien andalou.
All right, fair enough.
This
I've
is a
never
pretty
seen it.
freaky. It's a pretty freaky. It's like a short film. There's like this. This is like the famous eye-cutting scene from the movie. It's not the best horror movie of all time. It's a great.
It's a Dolly movie,
It's
right?
it's an early
Dolly-
piece of like schlock. Not schlock. Why do I keep saying schlock? I mean to say shock cinema.
Shock cinema.
Yeah, where it's like it's meant to fucking gross out and shock audiences and stuff.
Well, he said this. If I could see the reaction, I'm sure that
And,
there's never people turning more crazy in the history of cinema than the first audience that the movie had.
And
So-
it's probably true. That eye-cutting scene is still pretty like whoa to this day, because they actually like they go to like slice her eye and then they cut to a close-up of like a cow's eye that they slice open, and it's pretty seamless. So it's really fucking gross.
Cool.
But yeah, so John Carpenter, The Exorcist. I love The Exorcist. John Carpenter, obviously major fucking horror director. I'm surprised, as egocentric as he is, I'm surprised he didn't put one of his own fucking films, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, The Exorcist is, far and away runs away with the demonic possession title. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. And I mean, you really appreciate it more the more you watch any of the shitty sequels to it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, wow, look how hard this is to do.
And
Look
they've
how
tried-
easy it is to make it horrible and fucking
And Hollywood's been
stupid.
chasing this movie for 30 years. Trying to make another demon possession movie that even
And then there's like
approaches the cultural
The Exorcism of Emily Rose, The Exorcism of
All
Sarah Miller,
garbage.
The Exorcism of Joe
impact.
Blow.
All just jump scares, freak outs, making the person look as demented as possible, and not really capturing the spirit of demonic possession.
I don't know that. Jacob's Ladder, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Don't know who Patrick Bryce is. Tim Burton, The Wicker Man.
Well, the
I'm
original.
assuming you mean the original.
Yeah, 1973.
I'm assuming you're not talking about the Nicolas Cage one, because that's pretty fucking awful.
Dude, that one is scary.
Oh, bees!
Not the bees! Uh-huh. Jim Jarmusch, American Psycho. That is a great fucking horror movie. Great horror comedy. Dark horror comedy.
Yeah, it's a good movie for sure.
Who picked The Shining? Ty West?
Well, hey.
Who the fuck is Ty West?
Go with
Does
the
anyone
sa-
know who that is?
Go with
The
the
House
safe
of the
choice.
Devil director, dude.
House of the Devil. So only so of all these filmmakers, only the dude whose resume is House of the Devil
Oh, yes, TJ.
has the balls to fucking actually pick a fucking horror movie. All right,
Right.
cool. Rob Zombie, 28 Days Later.
That is actually super surprising because he's known for being a huge fucking film buff, and every time I see him talk about horror, he just name drop a bunch of shit. So for him to pick a modern horror movie is actually pretty surprising.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of his like aesthetics and all that shit. I mean, like he kind of goes more to that like grindhouse style, or even all the way back to like some 50s shit.
Or even like going back to like the golden age of cinema, like the 1920s, and I mean, he's all over the place with that.
So it is
stuff.
kind of weird that he would be like, all right, I'm gonna go with something that was relatively.
I
modern
definitely like 28
comparison.
Days Later, but when I put on the best horror movies of all time, I'd probably not.
By the way, Rob Zombie, not a good director.
Horrible director.
I'm just gonna say it.
What?
Horrible director,
He's
man.
not good. He's
The-
not
the only-
talented.
The only movies I think he's made that were good was House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects.
I don't even think House of a
How many
Thousand
good
Corpses was
movies
very
you got to
good.
make to be a good director?
At least one.
Dude, House of a Thousand Corpses is a good movie.
Yeah, I like it.
Whatever, get out of here, TJ.
House of a Thousand Corpses
You fucking
sucks.
suck.
Go
It
watch
sucks.
3 from
Fucking
Hell.
suck.
Go watch 3
Three
from Hell.
sucks.
Go
really
watch
bad.
3 from
His
Hell.
Halloween remake
I
sucked.
Tell
haven't
me-
seen, look, dude.
His fucking witch movie sucked.
Tim Burton, great director or no?
He used to be.
See?
He used to be at one time.
Probably only done like 2 or 3 really great movies, though.
I don't know. Let's
Did
see.
Edward Scissorhands?
Edward Scissorhands.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
He didn't direct that.
Well, he designed it or whatever.
Planet
right?
of the Apes, obviously. Planet of the Apes, TJ.
You die. Ed Wood's a great movie though.
Ed
I
Wood.
love Ed Wood,
So
yeah.
that's
Ed
2.
Wood's great.
What else we got?
Beetlejuice is great.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, okay. What else we got?
Early in his career, he was a great director.
Let me see. Let me just fucking look at his resume. It's been so long since a good Tim Burton movie
Frank
happened.
and Weenie.
Oh, yeah, Frankenweenie.
Yeah, Frank and Weenie for sure.
Alice in Wonderland.
Sweeney Todd, obviously his masterpiece.
Yeah, his
Fucking
magnum
Paul.
opus.
Boo.
Sweeney.
Boo.
You
I
just
can't boo that movie
You're just
hard
jealous
enough.
of how good that is.
Oh, my God.
Beetlejuice 2 has been announced? Okay, cool.
Wow.
Love it. All right, well, we got a lot more stories to go through. We've been talking for quite a while. Microsoft tried a 4-day work week in Japan. Productivity jumped 40%.
Yeah, less time to do shit.
A growing number of smaller companies are adopting a 4-day work week. Now the results of a recent trial at Microsoft suggest it could work. Work even for the biggest businesses. The company introduced a program this summer in Japan called the Work-Life Choice Challenge, which shut down its offices every Friday in August and gave all employees an extra day off each week. The results were promising. The amount of time spent at work was cut dramatically. Productivity, measured by sales per employee, went up almost 40% compared to the same period the previous year, the company said in a statement last week. In addition to reducing work hours, managers urged staff to cut down on the time they spent in meetings and responding to emails. They suggested that meetings should last no longer than 30 minutes. Employees were also encouraged to cut down on meetings altogether by using an online messaging app, Microsoft's, of course. The effects were widespread. More than 90% of Microsoft's 2,280 employees in Japan later said they were impacted by the new measures, according to the company. By shutting down earlier each week, the company was also able to save on other resources such as electricity. So maybe it turns out that when you don't overwork people to the point of exhaustion, they do better work. Go fucking figure.
If people have time off, don't they have time to think about other things like the political shenanigans going on, like the huge justice cover-ups that are happening,
Dystopian future cheers, guys.
like the constant waging of war and shit? Don't they have more time to like consider things when they're not being
you guys are
worked like
naive.
fucking rented mules?
The dystopian future has arrived. 4-day work week, Paul. What's next? The 3-day work week? What? You know what, Paul? Then it's the fucking 2-day work week.
Then it's the
1 day.
2-hour work week.
And then it's gone, Paul.
I'm an advocate for the 0-day work week.
Yeah, me too.
You know what, Paul? And then your job will be replaced.
I
There'll be
wanna-
a fucking little podcast
I'm an advocate
robot.
for getting rid of jobs.
I mean, let's be real.
You're insane.
The ideal
You're insane.
The ideal unemployment rate really is
100%.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
The point
I
where
don't
no
think-
one has to do a
I don't
job
think
anymore
you
is probably
find
the best point.
Yeah, I don't think I find anyone that's really arguing that, you know what, hey, I guess maybe besides the people who profit off of it.
And I love the people
immensely.
that say that, well, who would profit off of that? You know, like how would, if nobody had to do anything, then who would ever make anything? Dude, do you have any idea
It'd be the opposite.
the wave of creativity that would be fucking unleashed on this planet if we freed people from the drudgery of the 5, 6, 7-day work week that's now necessary for most people to make
I
ends
agree with
meet?
you 100% because people spend so much time just surviving. They're not able to sit back and create things.
If people had the means to keep their families safe with shelter and shit, the basic needs of that, and enough fucking ability to get their hands on the capital to do what they wanted with it, there would be a fucking wave of new inventions, new technologies, new ways of thinking.
But you know what all those things would do, Paul? Disrupt established industries.
Well, the
And
point
we can't have that.
The point, that's what I'm saying. That's what they fear. The more time they give the American worker to do what they want, the more competitors they're creating.
Of course.
If you've got 4 days a week off now to do what you want with,
Also, with this 3 days, you know.
Yeah, instead of, I mean, imagine if it's just like, man, I'm gonna make hamburgers for people, you know, or some shit.
I'm going to
It's just
start
like,
a little hamburger
yeah.
chain, or I'm going to I'm gonna make a fucking line of
Instead of a-
sneakers.
well,
Instead of a
let's think about
McDonald's
that.
on every corner, there's like a guy that just like, I have this fucking little
you
thing
know
where
what,
I cook
TJ?
burgers sometimes.
Well,
you
think
know?
about this. Well, think about that idea. Like you're working a regular job,
Right.
And you suddenly want to do that. Okay, number one, the company's more than likely providing your health care, so that's gone. If you have a wife and kids, that's a big fucking problem.
Yeah, corporate America has
Yeah.
the average person over the fuck. I mean, it's not even just America thing. This is
Everybody.
worldwide. global.
Number two, where are you going to get
Over
the
a
money?
barrel.
Who's going to give you the money to do that?
No one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're going to lock you out of the Capitol. They're going to make sure that you're stuck with that company. You're stuck with their health care. Because if you have things like universal health care, then you wouldn't be so scared. You know, my family's like Paul said. If you had a base ability to survive, then there's going to be way more entrepreneurs.
I gotta say too, I want that fucking burger on the screen. My mind is on burgers now.
That burger looks a little flat.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man. That's the kind of burger I like. I don't like a big, thick beef patty on a burger.
You like a thin burger?
Yeah, I like a thinner burger, man.
A thin burger.
Oh God, man. Can I get you an extra lump of sugar in your tea over there, Abigail?
Yeah, sure.
You like dainty little burgers?
Well, yeah.
Oh man, that looks like flat as a flitter.
No, man. That's a good burger right there, man.
You need a nice, thick, juicy
No.
fucking patty.
Yeah,
on
all
it.
right,
If I
Paul.
want that, I'll eat a fucking steak. That's not a burger.
Not.
Dude, let's take fucking Paul this summer with a big ass burger and be like, all right, Paul, go ahead and eat. Then he'll be like, oh, my little tum-tum is too sensitive right now.
No, dude.
Millennials earn
We'll
20%.
see.
Millennials earn 20% less than baby boomers did, despite being better educated.
Should have been born earlier.
That'll teach you to be born in the wrong generation.
Yeah, suck on it, Zoomers.
Millennials are facing a shortfall compared to other generations when it comes to their paychecks. It's reflected in their fucking attitude, too. Overall, millennials earn 20% less than baby boomers did at the same stage of life, according to the Emerging Millennial Wealth Gap, a recent report from the nonpartisan think tank New America. Specifically, median earnings for those 18 to 34 are lower than they were in the 1980s, a disparity that was first noted in a 2017 report from the nonprofit Young Invincibles. And the flow of today's paychecks is less predictable, due in part to the effects of the Great Recession and a rise in contract and freelance positions that may be less consistent in hours and in pay. That's in spite of overall higher education levels. Nearly 40% of millennials 25 to 37 have at least a bachelor's degree, compared to just a quarter of baby boomers and 30% of Gen X when they were the same age, Pew Research Center found. These lower wages may lead to long-term problems for this generation, experts say. No shit.
What?
No shit. There's a reason why this generation is so insanely pissed off at the fucking system that created them.
boomers,
The
dude.
boomers had every advantage. Boomers went to fucking. They basically had a college education, even only a quarter.
Everything was handed to the boomer
Yeah.
generation on a silver fucking platter.
It really wasn't.
Those people paid like $50
and now,
a semester to
when,
go to school.
when the millennial generation tries to get anything for itself, the boomers are like, bullshit. I pulled myself up by my bootstrap.
Yeah.
No, you didn't, you fucking old cretin.
Look at the cost
No,
of it.
you fucking didn't. Sorry.
Look at no, that's fine. Look at the cost of education when the boomers were going to fucking university.
Yeah, you came up in a
It was
generation
affordable.
where you were paid well and everything was cheap as dirt.
Exactly.
Now everything's expensive as fuck and no one's making any money.
See, my parents are boomers. And let me tell you another angle that they're not even really touching on here.
Sure.
Uneducated people.
Yeah,
People that didn't have college educations
that's 75% of boomers.
were absolutely more able to get a job that paid their bills than this generation is. My parents were both factory workers, and they owned a big plot of land out in the country and had a house built on it on factory worker salaries. And that type of job just doesn't even exist.
Oh no.
This was in rural California in the middle of the fucking farm country, and they were able to get a job at a local business that paid them that much fucking money.
I mean, that's unthinkable now. That's that they and didn't they both retire? Didn't they retire from the factory too?
Yeah, both of them retired from the factory.
I mean, and that's almost unheard of now. They stay with one company that long.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
it blows my mind.
It's that just doesn't exist anymore. Those types of manufacturing jobs have all but disappeared from this country and been replaced with service industry jobs that routinely pay less on the
Far
lower end of the
less.
scale. So you cannot buy a plot of land if both of you work at McDonald's. And my parents weren't bosses at the plant. My dad became a boss way later. which is another thing that doesn't happen anymore. Upward mobility in these companies, where you're actually empowered from the bottom up, is disappearing.
You know what's crazy too is most times how people advance in companies now is they leave the company they're with and they move to another company
Right.
and get hired a higher position. You're right. People actually getting promoted, that almost never happens anymore.
But both of them were, base level employees at the place. My mom did everything at that factory. My dad was a mechanic, and they were able to build a house on it.
Yeah.
That just doesn't exist.
And a lot of it's on the strength of unions and shit like that, too, which
you
have
can-
all been broken up and weakened
Gutted.
in every fucking respect
Well,
possible.
you see it right here. Earn 20% less than baby boomers did. That's fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. This is a big part of the reason why I support Bernie Sanders for president, by the way. Just putting that out there.
What about Joe Biden?
Sucking up to those Zoomers,
Sucking
TJ.
up to the Sanders people. Because, look, he's the only candidate that has any sort of plan to fix any of that. You can say it's not going to work, it's naive, whatever the fuck. At least he's fucking going to try something.
We got a guy right here that's got a plan, TJ.
He doesn't have no plan. Appeals court rules president must turn over 8 years of tax returns.
Let's see what the Supreme Court has to say about that.
You think he's going to do it? I'm guessing no.
He's not going to do it.
He's not gonna
He's
do it.
going to appeal this to the Supreme Court, and it'll be tied up in appeal for a long-ass fucking time. This is a kind of a non-story. It's step one.
It really is. Washington, President Donald Trump lost an appeal Monday to keep his tax returns from a Manhattan grand jury, setting a potential Supreme Court challenge. It's not a potential. It's going to happen.
There's no potential about it.
It's going to happen. There's really not even point.
He's already
I saw-
shown his willingness to appeal
I
the
saw
decision.
people arguing that I think the Supreme Court will decline and take the case.
Well, maybe. Louisiana man wanted to avoid DUI, so stole motorized shopping cart to bar hop, police say. Love it.
He's inventive if nothing else.
A Louisiana man.
Look how drunk he is.
He's drunk as fuck.
Oh my God, he's wasted. Terrebonne Parish.
Yeah, let him go.
I don't blame you.
Let him go.
He was in Houma,
Give him a warning.
Louisiana. Yeah. You know what, dude? You might as well be drunk if you're in Houma, Louisiana.
Louisiana
Dude, Homa's like a total boom bust town.
A Louisiana man is facing felony charges after driving a stolen electric-powered shopping cart from Walmart to a bar.
Awesome.
Bryce Kendall Williams, 32, was arrested on Sunday on charges of unauthorized use of a movable, which is a felony according. Come on.
Felony.
The dude. Let him off with a fucking slap
It's
on the
a
wrist.
shopping
Come on.
cart.
Come on. I get.
felony.
Whatever.
His DUI. Look, his DUI. He makes
You don't
sense.
need. He's not. No, this shouldn't make no goddamn felon. He's fine. No one was hurt. There's no fucking victim here. Walmart ain't a fucking victim.
I'm surprised they actually didn't give him a DUI still.
Williams was intoxicated when he left one bar early Sunday morning in Houma, Louisiana, an hour southwest of New Orleans, and wanted to go to a different bar, police said. And at least he didn't get behind the wheel of a car, all right? Because,
he drove a shopping cart.
Obviously he still poses, there's still a public safety thing there, but, come on, he's just some dumb drunk from Louisiana, all right?
You don't got to throw the fucking book at the guy.
Right, he doesn't need to be this don't even need no fucking felony,
Slap
all right?
a fine on him. You know what I mean? Tell
Yeah.
him not to do it again.
Yep,
You guys are arguing for gross criminality.
I guess so. 1 million cannibal ants trapped in Soviet nuclear bunker have escaped.
All right, we're dead.
This is insane.
So basically, it's done. We're done now, right?
Yes.
We're done. I don't know how this. We shouldn't even have covered any other stories. A colony of up to 1 million cannibal ants trapped in a nuclear bunker for years have escaped, scientists in Poland said. The ants, which had no food source other than their dead nestmates. How does that even work?
When
We're
one of them would croak, the other ones would eat it.
Right, but
And
like
they'd pile up the corpses and store
So-
up the corpses and shit.
so basic. I don't
they
know.
make so many. It's like you can make a big old pile of corpses and still have a nice thriving.
It's like a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah.
The ants, which had no food source other than the desert, were first discovered in 2013. Were found to be solely made up of worker ants, meaning they could not reproduce. How their numbers grew so large was a mystery. Okay, I'm starting to get. This is kind of.
See what I mean?
What the fuck is going on here? In a study published in the Journal of Hymenoptera Research, thank you, Paul, have now studied the colony to understand how it functioned and installed an escape route to see if its members would leave their home given the option. Oh, my God. What have you done?
They've unleashed this on the planet.
They didn't
Let's see if they'll
escape. You
escape.
fucking let them out.
Let's see if they'll escape.
The team, led by, oh, my God, Wojciech, from the Museum and Institute of Zoology and the Polish Academy of Sciences, were carrying out a survey of bats living in an abandoned Soviet nuclear bunker when they came across the wood ants living in an ammunition bunker where nuclear weapons were once kept.
Fuck,
the ants
dude.
had no access to the outside world and appeared to have come from a nest above that was positioned over a ventilation pipe. When the ants fell down the pipe, they were entombed in the
All right,
bunker.
so now we know the origin of the fallout ants. Right.
However, after returning to the site 2 years later, scientists found the colony was not only still there, but it had grown in numbers.
Oh, fuck, dude.
This was despite there being no obvious food source, no heat, and no light. A population estimate suggested there were hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million ants living in the bunker.
Jeez.
Dude, do we really want to go up against ants? They were fucking living in a barren bunker.
Let me tell you something. I've always thought that, like, if there was just, like, if suddenly every ant on Earth was reprogrammed to just fucking turn on human beings, like, the purpose of ants is now kill and eat humans, like, we're dead in, like, a matter of fucking years, if that.
The last human stronghold of Antarctica.
If there was any doubt in
Antarctica.
anybody's mind which
Anti-Antarctica.
classification of life was going to have the best chance of surviving the coming apocalypse, look no further than the insect, dude. For any other kind of animal on the planet, falling down a hole that you can't get back out of into a barren, unescapable tomb, that's the end. You're done, whether it's a week, whether it's 2 days from exposure, from hunger, from thirst. There's not a single other type of animal that could even conceive of doing something like this. So, dude, Earth is going to be populated by fucking insectoids in the future. That's the future of this planet. We're a footnote. We're going to create the conditions by which all the other fucking complex life gets killed off, giving these things free reign over the fucking globe to survive, as clearly they do.
Oh, dude, they're gonna be fine.
Dude, I'm an advocate for that, dude. Bring on the insectoids. It's their time.
Rise of the insectoids. Man killed at Maryland Popeyes in fight linked to popular chicken sandwich.
You know what? It's finger looking good, man.
The
So,
stabbing
TJ,
occurred one day after Popeyes. I'm an expert at that because I've had the
Popeyes.
sandwich.
Where were you when this went down, TJ?
I was
Where were
home,
you?
minding my business, watching TV or something.
Were you in Maryland, TJ?
Yeah, what are these plane ticket stubs from Maryland, TJ, on the desk?
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen those. Strange. A man was stabbed to death outside of Maryland Popeyes in a fight over the chain's popular chicken sandwich. Well, I mean, what's there to fight about now? Like, it's there now. Like, the
Maybe
chicken sandwich.
cut in line.
So a fight began after someone cut in line.
Oh.
I mean, that makes sense, dude.
Well, if you don't want to get stabbed, don't cut in line,
You want that
bitch.
motherfucking chicken from Popeyes? You want that chicken sandwich? Some dude says, I'm going to step in front of you.
You know what,
He
though?
forfeits his life.
I got to tell you, though, the guy that stabbed him, dude, there ain't too many Popeyes chicken sandwiches up in prison. I'm just letting you know. Dude,
Yeah. Well,
hard
Now-
to get in prison.
Things like this have to happen every once in a while. Because let me tell you something about the line cutters.
Right.
Okay?
They need to be fucking put in their place.
This is the thing. The line cutter operates on the simple social principle that most people don't want to get in a fight, to just brazenly stand right in front of you in a line and not have to wait like everybody else does.
right.
The only way that they are ever given any retribution for that is when somebody fucking decides, hey, I'm willing to have a conflict here. And that's very rare. It's very fucking rare.
Right.
So every once in a while, we got to have somebody that goes, you know what, you line cutting fuck, that doesn't want to follow the social rules, that wants to pretend you're better than everybody else that's calmly waiting here in the line for their chicken sandwich. Here's a shiv. Here you go. Congratulations, you got there first, motherfucker. Yeah, no, I don't support this being done en masse, but this one incident,
It needs to
it
happen.
had to happen.
I mean, yeah.
Damn.
These line cutting fucks.
I really see what he's saying, because I mean, like, honestly, if everyone just always is patient with these people and it's like, okay, well, they cut in line, but I
it's
don't want
beyond patience.
right.
It's literally accepting a fucking wrong being done to you just for the fucking, like, I don't want to fucking be the guy that is looked at as
Basically-
bad here.
Basically
Every
for
once in a
social
while,
mar-
there's got to be a crazy fucker that stands up
You're
to
basically
the line
accepting
cutter.
someone breaking the social contract for social harmony. You're saying, I don't want to have a fight with this person.
I'm just saying that the social yeah, exactly.
Every once in a while, there has to be retribution
Yeah.
to keep these motherfuckers in line.
Because in our society,
in the right place in the line, too.
if you walk up somewhere and you're like, oh, I need to buy this thing. If there's someone already buying something, we fucking queue. We
get in
wait.
line.
Yeah, some cultures, it's not like that. It's a fucking free-for-all. But, some
Got to
people,
learn somehow.
if you violate the social fucking contract with people, sometimes they act disproportionately. I don't think this motherfucker deserved to be stabbed, but you know what? You never know if you fucking piss somebody off.
MetLife Stadium says black cat still on loose after evading officials.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, this cat went on a rampage.
Dude, I was watching the game when this happened. I'm like, dude, this cat's more interested in this fucking game.
That's sad.
The black cat that delayed Monday night's Dallas Cowboys versus New York Giants game to the delight of millions as it wandered on.
Millions of people are so bored with
the
what
field.
football has become that they're just they're fucking overjoyed to see a cat
Dude,
delay the
Paul,
game.
I'm telling you, the matchups this season for Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football have been a joke. It's like the Giants are at best a fucking dog shit team, and the Cowboys were going to dominate them. The game was a lot closer, but towards the end of the game, the Cowboys just fucking steamrolled them. But it wasn't an interesting game. It wasn't high scoring.
The cat had captured the attention of the entire stadium of cheering, guffawing fans as the cameras for national Monday Night Football television audience in the second quarter of the Cowboys' 37-18 win. As superstitious as Jerry Jones is, the Cowboys owner and general manager said he was fearful that the cat was a bad omen with his team trailing 9-3. What a fucking moron. This guy.
It's so stupid.
What a fucking idiot, dude. People who are superstitious in
A
2019,
bad omen, dude.
like if you look at a cat, you're like, oh, it's an omen. You're a fucking moron. It's a shame. Like, how the fuck does someone that stupid own something as big as like a football team?
He's too rich to have to be smart.
I guess so.
I know what you're saying, TJ, but you know what, man? Don't take a chance. Knock on wood. Oh, shit, man. Oh, God.
I haven't seen one glare at me that far away, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the cat's cool. There's fucking supposed to be a video of this cat?
Dude, I fucking own a black cat, so I must have terrible luck. Oh, wait. Never mind.
Let me see this fucking
Yeah,
cat.
there he is.
I want to see this cat. I didn't know about this.
Yeah, dude.
And there is a black cat now.
Look at
on
him
the
go.
field.
That
He's-
cat is fucking badass.
I know, dude. That cat is kick-ass.
That cat's like, you know what? I want to be a star.
That cat fucking rules, man.
Dude, he's about to score a touchdown. Go, kitty, go.
Go in the end
Is this
zone.
gonna be
All
bad
right.
for the Cowboys?
Oh, man.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Superstitious.
Touchdown, kitty.
And that cat don't give no fucks, man.
There he goes. Ladies and gentlemen.
That cat don't give a fuck, bro.
That cat's awesome.
You know what, though?
That cat is the hero we deserve.
If a fucking person runs onto the fucking field, they get arrested, man.
Yep.
What about this cat? Gets away with it scot fucking free?
Damn right.
If they catch this cat, I want this cat sent to fucking prison.
Dude, football needs more streakers and shit.
Dude, cats are usually not like big fans of like giant stadiums full of screaming people. So it's kind of weird. That cat just like saunters out there like, what up?
That cat didn't give a fuck.
He didn't, man.
That cat is like next level cat.
Yeah, dude. He had shit to do. Get off my field, humans.
Cat's like, what the fuck's
You know what?
going on?
This cat probably eats some fucking tasty ass rats on this field, most times. And all these people are like, why are all these people here? I just want to eat. I'm hungry.
Dude, the rats are the Cowboys, dude.
Donut shop killer's execution set amid opposition by gay rights group. I don't know what any of that means.
I don't know either.
South Dakota has scheduled a rare execution on Monday for a man convicted of the 1992 stabbing of a former coworker at a donut shop, a sentence that rights advocates said was tainted by jurors who asked potentially homophobic questions. Charles Rhines, 63, who is gay, was set to be put to death at 1:30 p.m. Central Time by lethal injection at South Dakota's execution chamber in Sioux Falls. Since the U.S. Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of the death penalty in 1976, South Dakota has carried out only 4 executions, including one last year. Rhines is one of only 3 inmates on the state's death row. Apparently, they take a long fucking time to do it, because 1992 was 20-something fucking years
Yeah.
ago, right? It's like
Yeah,
26 years ago.
This is
or
why
some shit.
just another example of how the death penalty doesn't work. So for 22 years, we've
Yep.
been housing this person as an inmate.
What a deterrent.
At greater expense, by the way, because they have to be housed in solitary in their own wing of the fucking prison and shit. So death row is a whole different thing. And all of that money for 22 years, and only now is the sentence going to be carried out. But it probably won't be because of these legal challenges, which is another expense that's incurred.
I mean, even if they do execute, I mean, like, what's the point? He killed somebody. If you want to give him a life sentence, give him a life sentence, but that's essentially what you've done.
Well, the implication
So
here
where's
is that
what are the questions? I mean, I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know if that ever
During
says it.
during the deliberations, some jurors expressed anti-gay sentiments, with one saying that Rhines shouldn't be able to spend his life with men in prison. The group said, okay. So the logic of the jurors was give him the death penalty because life in prison will just be like paradise
Yeah,
for
it's
him.
like gay
What?
paradise.
Yeah, it's like gays love prison.
There's just butthole everywhere.
I think
in
everyone
prison.
hates prison. I
No,
don't think
gays love it.
Gays.
No, they
love
don't.
it.
They
No,
don't.
dude, they do.
No,
This
they
is
don't.
Oh my God, so many dudes in prison. Wow.
I'm about to go get locked
Oh,
up.
yeah. That makes
Girl
sense.
child. That's dumb. All right. Hundreds of Oklahoma inmates being released Monday in largest commutation in U.S. history. And a lot of the gay inmates were like, no, thanks, I'll stay. This
Yeah.
is paradise
Actually,
for us.
I'm not
be-
going nowhere.
I'll be staying in prison.
You just asking me if I want to leave Dicktopia? No, thank you.
What an idiot. All right, more than 400 inmates across Oklahoma were being released from prison Monday in what governor's office calls the largest single-day mass commutation in the nation's history. The Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board approved the commutations Friday and forwarded them to Governor Kevin Stitt, a former mortgage company CEO who was elected in 2018.
Of course.
Oh, my God. Who the fuck elects a goddamn mortgage whatever. The board voted unanimously to recommend that the sentences of 527 state inmates be commuted, with 462 of those inmates slated to walk out of prison Monday and 65 others being held on detainer. With this vote, we are fulfilling the will of Oklahomans. Steve Bickley, executive director of the board, said in the statement Friday. However, from day one, the goal of this project has been more than just the re-release of low-level nonviolent offenders, but the successful re-entry of these individuals back into society, blah, 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 blah. This is a good thing.
So, yeah, this is an example of because Oklahoma has the highest incarceration rate
Or
per
one of
capita. I think it is the highest.
Oh, it surpassed Louisiana.
I think
it
Louisiana.
did.
I thought
Yeah,
Louisiana was
woohoo!
number one, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure it did. So, this is obviously like on the ground level something people have been advocating for, but it really is only 562 people.
Right. That's a drop in the bucket.
It's notable
ultimately.
for the fact that it's like I guess it says here that it's the largest mass release of prisoners ever.
So that's a good thing. I hope it starts to lead to a dialogue about like what kind of people actually belong in a fucking prison in the first place, because
The dialogue needs to go deeper than that,
Yeah.
because the answer to that, in my estimation, is nobody. I don't care what you've done. I do not think it should be incumbent upon like the fucking state to sentence you to literal torture for the rest of your life.
Right.
And that's what most of these prisons are. They're fucking meat grinders, kill or be killed type of environments where you're preyed upon or you have to prey upon people.
to survive.
Paul, not just in the U.S., Oklahoma is the world's prison capital.
I just don't know what you do. I mean, like, I agree for most people, but I just don't know what you do with like a serial killers, serial rapists.
How many
you
of those
know.
people do honestly, does that
There's not
represent
many.
society? Yeah.
Very few. It's a very small sliver of a portion
There's some
of people.
that should be held for life, but those people are few and far between.
Right. And held for life doesn't mean held for life in a torture fucking
No.
house.
I agree with that.
But you wouldn't even.
You know what
need-
I mean?
You wouldn't need that if these prisons were so overcrowded to begin with.
Right. They wouldn't. I mean, like, a lot of the problems with the fucking prisons is that they're trying to house so many people, a lot of which, probably the vast majority of which, there's really not much of a justification for them being there in the first
A lot
place.
of those people are just mentally ill as well.
There needs to be a sea change in the way we think about the penal system. It needs to be
Penal.
It needs to be completely deprivatized, for one.
Yeah, tell me more about that big old penal system, boy.
Yeah,
Well, we give,
you'd love to get thrown in the penal system.
Oh, yeah, give me that
Well, if we can give
penal
credit
system.
to California for anything recently, they I think they abolished private prisons over the next 10 years.
Yeah, but they're still one of the worst states other than Texas for
Yeah.
the death penalty, so.
They are on that, but
What's
making some
this?
improvements.
Oh, my fucking pet issue is finally coming to the forefront a little bit. Neat. Earth needs fewer people to beat the climate crisis, scientists say. Hold on, let me cut to myself being shocked for a second.
What?
There you
If they
go.
had less people, it'd be easier.
I've been saying this for goddamn years, motherfucker. 40 years ago, scientists from 50 nations converged on Geneva to discuss what was then called the CO2 climate problem At the time, with reliance on fossil fuels having helped trigger the 1979 oil crisis, they predicted global warming would eventually become a major environmental challenge. The scientists got to work building a strategy on how to attack the problem and laying the groundwork for the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the world's preeminent body on climate scientists. Their goal was to get ahead of the problem before it was too late. Whoops. But after a fast start, the fossil fuel industry, politics, and the prioritization of economic growth over planetary health slowed them down. It did more than slow them down. It stopped them in their fucking tracks.
I don't think we have to wonder who won that battle.
Now, 4 decades later, a larger group of scientists is sounding another, much more urgent alarm.
Yeah, they'll be
More than
ignored, too.
11,000 experts from around the world are calling for critical addition to the main strategy of dumping fossil fuels for renewable energy. There needs to be far fewer humans on the planet. We declare, with more than 11,000 scientist signatures from around the world, clearly and unequivocally, that planet Earth is facing a climate emergency, the scientists wrote in a stark warning published Tuesday in the Journal of Bioscience. While warnings about the... How much you want to cut it? That's what I want to know.
Dude.
Where's the proposal?
You know what? While we're
Can we
reading
start
this,
the purge?
TJ, while you're reading this,
While I'm reading this, what?
you might as well be reading about the fucking warp engine or something, dude. About what we need to do, what humanity needs to do.
What we need to do. That's what we need.
Fuck this article. And you want to know why? That's not that I'm against what these scientists are saying, but no one gives a shit. No one fucking cares.
I do. I give a shit. I care.
Yeah, no, you really don't.
I do.
Because you're not going to... TJ, if all the systemic changes...
How many fucking babies
all
have come
the-
out of my ball sack, bitch?
If all the systemic changes...
Zero.
If all those systemic changes...
And
were
you know what?
proposed
If murder's
tomorrow-
legalized
if they were
tomorrow, I'll
proposed
go
tomorrow-
fucking take the matter in my own hands.
If it was all proposed tomorrow, TJ,
We need the
implemented,
purge.
You'd be the fucking
Purge
first one-
2020.
You'd be the first one on the front line bitching about it. Going,
Purge 2020.
Oh man, there's no plastic bottle for tea. Fuck this shit.
I don't give a
man."
fuck. I'll drink out of a goddamn wood
No,
chalice
you
or whatever
won't.
the fuck.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
You don't-
Wood chalice.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
That's the best. That's
I don't know.
we start
Whatever
yeah.
the alternative is, I don't
We
give a
We
shit.
solved the plastic crisis by
Every man will
switching
be
them out with a wood chalices.
chalice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why the fuck not? Everyone gets
Carved
a wood
from the
chalice.
trunk of a single tree.
Yep. Get
Yep.
a wood chalice. Get a
get
fucking
issued one per
plant-based
life.
chalice. I don't give a fuck.
You get issued one fucking wood chalice per life, dude.
I don't give a flying fuck. This is all about reducing the number of these motherfuckers.
You know what happens if you lose your wood chalice, TJ?
I'm thinking
You gotta drink with your hands.
we need to go back to about 500 million to 1 billion people. So that means we got to cut these motherfuckers down by a pretty
Ain't gonna
significant
happen.
margin.
Ain't
All
gonna
right,
happen,
Georgia
man.
Guidestones, TJ.
Yeah.
Ain't
The
gonna
Georgia
happen.
Guidestones were fucking right.
Dude, I think you need to go back to the drawing board on this take, dude. There's
No.
no way you're going to convince a species that just absolutely fucking what's a reason for any
I don't give a
animal
fuck
that
who. Hey,
reproduces
I don't give
to
a fuck
exist?
who buys some fucking take. Okay, this ain't about convincing people of a take. This is about what needs to be fucking done. All right.
And I'm arguing it won't be
So
done.
who gives a shit?
How are you going to do it?
You know it'll be done, TJ? I'll agree with you. It'll be done at some point.
It'll be
No.
done when these motherfuckers are starving
That's what
because
I'm
there's
saying.
no fucking food.
Yes. When there's no food
And
there's no clean
everything's
water,
on fire,
Yeah.
and everyone's fucking. Every country is
when we
destabilized,
hit our carrying capacity, that's when it's gonna happen.
and no one has a job because it's all been replaced by fucking machines and shit. And and we never fucking bothered to transition to a more fucking sustainable economic model.
But you know what? If humanity survives that, it'll be way better off anyways.
It's happened before.
Yeah, well,
These little reset buttons have to happen
Yep.
every once in a while.
Train keeps a rolling all night long.
It's like deer when they get out of control. You know
We
what I
need-
mean? They suffer for it.
we need
They-
a real. You know what we need? We need a real Illuminati. We need a real fucking Illuminati to go fucking sterilize huge swaths of the human race.
Why don't you do it, TJ?
Alex Jones has been talking about them, but they're not real. We need a real Illuminati. If anyone wants to join me in the real Illuminati, we're going to sterilize the species.
The
So,
real Illuminati.
Yeah, the real Illuminati. That's what we're going to do.
Sounds like shit.
Parasitic worms found in woman's eye. Oh, it sounds like shit. Sounds better than what we got now, motherfucker. Parasitic worms found in woman's eye as scientists warn of emerging disease. Good.
Zoonotic, TJ.
Zoonotic disease.
The zoonotic disease.
So now I gotta worry about
here.
eye worms.
Eye worms, bitch.
Oh, dude.
In California, too. A parasitic worm typically found in cattle has been discovered in a woman's eye in what scientists have warned may be an emerging zoonotic disease in the U.S. The 68-year-old woman is the second human to have become infected by the parasite. She was jogging on a trail near the coast in California in March 2018 when she ran a corner into a swarm of flies, according to a case report in the clinical infectious disease, whatever. The report said she remembered swatting the flies from her face and spitting them out of her mouth. So she walked into the damn flies. A month later, she experienced irritation in her right eye, and when she flushed it out with water, she discovered a transparent round worm around half an inch long. Live Science reported. Inspecting her eye more closely, she found and removed a second worm.
Jesus.
The next day, she visited ophthalmologists in Monterey, California, who removed a third parasite and sent it to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention for identification. Researchers there analyzed the sample and identified it as a species of eye worm called Thalasia gullosa. The parasitic worms are typically found in cattle and carried by certain types of flies. Despite being prescribed an antibiotic ointment, she continued to feel irritation in both eyes. Another doctor inspected her eyes but did not find any worms, instead diagnosing her with papillary conjunctivitis. But she then found a fourth worm, and after removing it, her conjunctivitis went away. So even under examination, one of these worms was elusive enough to not be spotted.
Fuck me, man.
Only one
I've
other
got
case
these,
of human becoming infected by T. gullosa has been reported before. A 26-year-old woman from Oregon became infected in August 2016.
It's happening.
The second case within 2 years suggests this may represent an emerging zoonotic disease in the U.S.
Oh, shit, dude. And there's not one beneath it. Talking about one coming to Europe, TJ.
Cool.
This parasitic worm can be deadly.
And it's coming to Europe.
Oh, shit.
The rise of the worms.
Yeah, the worms are sick of taking our shit. We've been keeping them in little styrofoam containers and putting hooks through them for fucking too long. They're coming.
Feeding them to our bearded dragons.
They're coming for our fucking eyes, man.
Worm eye.
Dude, I believe I have this. I have this now.
You have it?
Yep.
What?
I get eye irritation sometimes.
Yeah.
I
Probably
have
worms.
Probably worms in my fucking eyes.
When you go home tonight, be sure to look. Be sure
I'm
to do
not-
a thorough
I'm not-
examination.
Fucking worms in my eyes.
I'm not going to look.
You're not going to look? You just know you want to know?
I don't even want to fucking know.
Anyway.
It's going to make The Last of Us soon, TJ.
Got a couple more stories I guess we can cover real quick. Sondland updates impeachment testimony describing Ukraine quid pro quo. Shocking. Washington, a critical witness in the impeachment inquiry, offered Congress substantial new testimony this week, revealing that he told a top Ukrainian official that the country likely would not receive American military aid unless it publicly committed to investigations President Trump wanted. Oops.
No problem.
The disclosure from Gordon D. Sondland, the United States ambassador to the European Union, in 4 new pages of sworn testimony released on Tuesday, confirmed his involvement in essentially laying out a quid pro quo to Ukraine that he had previously not acknowledged. The testimony offered several major new details beyond the account he gave the inquiry in a 10-hour interview last March. Mr. Sondland provided a more robust description of his own role in alerting the Ukrainians that they needed to go along with the investigative requests being demanded by the president's personal lawyer, Rudolph W. Giuliani. By early September, Mr. Sondland said he had become convinced that military aid and White House meeting were conditioned on Ukraine committing to those investigations. So the Trump administration has been saying no quid pro quo for quite some time now,
Yeah,
and
look, TJ.
here's a guy that was actually involved in the quid pro quo. That
Sounds like more fake news.
yeah, more fake
It's
news.
a witch hunt, dude.
Obviously,
It's a witch
he's been bribed to turn against Trump.
Well, a lot of the narrative has changed now. From no quid pro quo to, yeah, so what?
Yeah, so what? It's a quid pro quo.
This happens
so
all the
what?
time.
I mean, look, our country,
Huh?
we're a powerful
We
country.
do this all the time. We do it.
We got to squeeze other
good.
countries sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta squeeze another country to investigate, your political rivals. Otherwise, you'll, withdraw military funding and shit from them. That's what you do.
That's how business is done. Would I do it? No. But is it impeachable? No.
No way. No fucking way. Anyway, Trump sucks.
You got to be rooting for that though, TJ, with that bet.
Oh yeah, I am. Obviously, yeah. Every time that they, I don't know. I've given up.
My money is well at hand.
No,
TJ.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, man.
$1,000, dude.
Come on, man. Get Trump. You guys only got a few years.
$1,000, TJ.
You guys got a year or some shit to
TJ.
get Trump. Get him.
They ain't gonna
Get
get
him.
nothing, dude.
Get him.
Trump is innocent.
I want to win that money.
Trump is innocent.
Deep fake videos could upend an election, but Silicon Valley may have a way to combat them. No, it doesn't. I'm going to give you a spoiler right now. It does not have a way to combat them.
It may have a way.
May, TJ.
Washington, election officials and social media firms are already flummoxed by hackers, trolls, and bots. Are bracing for potentially more potent weapon of disinformation at the 2020 election approaches. Doctored videos known as deepfakes that can be nearly impossible to detect as inauthentic. In tech company boardrooms, university labs, and Pentagon briefings, technologists on the front lines of cybersecurity have sounded alarms over the threat, which they say has increased markedly as the technology to make convincing fakes has become increasingly available. On Tuesday, leaders in artificial intelligence plan to unveil a tool to push back. It includes scanning software that UC Berkeley has been developing in partnership with the U.S. military, which the industry will start providing to journalists and political operatives. The goal is to give the media and campaigns a chance to screen possible fake videos before they could throw an election into chaos. The software is among the first significant efforts to arm reporters and campaigns with tools to combat deepfakes. It faces formidable hurdles, both technical and political, and the developers say there's no time to waste. Have to get serious about this. Hanny Farid, a computer science none of this matters. None of this matters. It doesn't matter if you can prove the video's fake or not, because no one trusts the institutions that you're giving the fucking technology to.
I got to be honest with you. I don't think this deep fake shit is as big of a threat as it stands as people are making it out to be. I think that this is kind of like the cause that they've come up with behind getting Americans more and more used to the idea of facial recognition. If you look at some less libertine societies, they've already got this shit where there are just these things on poles out in the street that scan your face when you walk or drive by.
There he is.
Things on the outside of buildings that scan your face as you walk into the building. Those things are already happening in the world. It's just that Americans are resistant to that type of shit. And this is the way we're going to convince everybody that, yeah, every time I'm fucking out, my face is being logged and my comings and goings are being logged.
Well,
what do you think the end result of this is? Why do you think UC Berkeley is partnered with the U.S. military? Wow, what a research partner on such a fucking niche little thing.
Because imagine there's a protest and you can identify every single person in the crowd. It's the same thing with...
Just imagine the ability to track a person's coming and goings.
Oh, that's already done on you.
At 2 o'clock, Scotty was here. At fucking 3 o'clock, Scotty was there.
Dude,
Scotty went back home at 4.
If you have a smartphone, everything you've done today, Paul, has been tracked.
Right. Well, this is just
Every
another
single
more
thing.
reliable way because you can't leave your face at home.
No, you can't. Well, people, I think, I think what's going to be developed, honestly, and they're already developing these different masks that actually make it look like you're not what you actually look like.
Scrambling technology.
Yeah, so this machine is going to try to read your face and it's not going to be able to, or it's going to identify you as someone else.
That's like a Scanner Darkly territory there.
Yep.
They wear those scramble suits to keep themselves
Well, they're already
off
doing it
of
in
the...
China. China's already doing this, and I mean the technology. I read about the technology 4 or 5 years ago, and now to see it just proliferating is just crazy.
I don't believe that the populace is under any imminent threat of these deep fake videos being picked up by the national news media and carried far enough to be considered real.
I mean, we don't need the national news media to cover this shit at this point. All you need is a fucking all you need is for it to spread on social media.
Right, but
and then even if they fucking come out, someone puts out a convincing deep fake of something that pushes whatever case or whatever fucking fact or narrative that someone wants to push. Even if the mainstream press comes out and says, no, it's fake, we looked at it, it's fake. There's so many people who believe
They're
it.
liars.
They're liars. They always lie to us. Look what they did with the Epstein thing.
Yeah, they're
a bunch of liars.
Look, and you don't even need it anyways because there's already been stories and hoaxes. I mean, like, look at the Jusui Smollett story.
Yeah.
Look at shit like that. Look at there's so many examples of like people being hoaxed.
And for every time
without this technology, you don't need this technology to hoax people.
For every time we realize the wool's been pulled over our eyes, how many times have we not realized it? Like, we could pick any random story on here and be like, oh, well, actually, this never even happened. This guy doesn't even exist. You know, we don't know.
We covered stories like that in the past.
I've never been. I'm not in Homa. I don't know if this guy is a fucking real thing. I don't know who'd fake it. Maybe Popeyes paid for this fucking guy to be murdered at this fucking chicken sandwich. Keep their chicken sandwich in the damn press. I don't know. You can't trust any goddamn thing.
But we've covered stories like that where we're with the sites that basically just profited off that. Just like,
right.
oh,
like
it's
that
a
time
satire
we
site.
fell for that scam about the feminist that was like kicking dudes in the balls or pouring coffee on them or some shit.
It was like dumping like bleach on them. Or
Yeah,
something.
she was throwing bleach on dudes who were man-spreading.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be totally bogus. We bought it, hook, line, and sinker.
So you don't need deep fakes. You
This
can
is
stage
another
shit. You can
this
make
is another
shit up.
tool, though.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I don't know.
Trust no one, trust nothing.
I understand the power in a post-truth world of being able to make these like convincing deep fakes, But I see nothing but the sinister plan behind all of this increasingly powerful facial recognition technology that the military is dumping a bunch of fucking money into.
On the CIA and the NSA. I mean,
It's
like,
all about surveilling the populace. It's all about making your privacy a thing of the past.
dude,
And
you guys,
right now, it pretty much is. Certainly the sense of privacy that I was raised thinking was the way things should be is gone now.
Absolutely.
dude, I watched the Edward Snowden was on Joe Rogan, and he talks about this. It's called bulk collection. That's what they call it. That's the euphemistic term.
Right.
It's like, so basically they just collect all this information on you. And TJ, you know what? It's not actually your information, because he explains on the podcast. It's called,
it belongs to the company.
It's a third party.
Yeah,
Right.
third party.
Third
Well,
party.
you're using the app. You
Yeah.
bought the phone. You decided to install the
So
technology
all
that
this
allows
shit on
them to-
here, they basically own it.
Yeah.
They own this.
That goes where you go, so they know where you're at. We covered a story a few weeks back about that tone that the police can have your fucking TV pulse out.
that you can't even hear.
And we know who's there. We know how
Right.
far they are, where their positions
Well,
are.
also,
Cell phones can
the
hear
wireless
it.
Fuck
access
else you wanna
point
know.
that you more likely have in your house, if you connect to that network, bam, now I know where you are too, because that is a unique identifier.
Yeah, it's just over. And really the only way, like, it really does come down to protest movements. The only way that you have any more of keeping this type of thing from happening and being known as a political dissident, if it's your wish you don't want to be, is to wear a mask at these things. And that just incites the other masked thugs to show up and beat the shit out of you. You've got no option but to be cataloged.
Yeah, and that just it amuses me too, because the Antifa people wear the masks. So a lot of these right wingers have been playing right into the fucking government's hand by saying, we want to ban masks at these rallies and shit. Of
course.
If you want to do this shit, show your face.
Of course.
Show your face. It's like, you guys realize you're doing exactly what's in the best interest of the government power that you claim to be so opposed to, right?
No,
Playing you like a cheap fucking fiddle.
I mean, it doesn't only have like law enforcement implications. It's not just the cops that are eating this
everything
for
in your
breakfast.
life.
It's literally all these companies are using it to sell you shit, using it to catalog your purchasing habits and your travel habits, to perfectly package.
How much money can we squeeze out of this
Advertisements.
pissant?
but what the double-edged sword of that is the convenience it's going to lend you. It's like having an e-passport. Like, you don't need to carry a physical passport. They're just going to do a retinal scan on you now if you want to go to another country.
I mean, you can already pay with your face in China.
Yeah.
There are, food stalls, vending machines and shit where you just kind of stand
there's
in front of a camera.
You also
and-
have a social score too. So
Right.
if Paul doesn't do a lot of activities outside of his home now, so he has a lower social score. He's bad. Don't rent Paul a car. Don't do this.
I would race to the bottom of that social score,
Yeah,
man.
don't give Paul credit. But I mean, think about the implications that can have if you're not this model citizen, whatever that's defined as, or this algorithm. So then it's a bunch of people trying to compete with the government algorithm, so they have a higher score.
It's all about control. It's all about social control, whether it's through manipulation or direct intervention. When I hear that the U.S. fucking military is pouring millions of dollars into facial recognition technology, I know why. The writing's on the fucking wall for me, because there's no reason. Nobody's going to step in. We're like 200 years behind the technological curve when it comes to our legislation.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
At least.
We have no privacy safeguards in this country. We have no right over our data, which in like countries like Europe they do. Like Germany is a really tough country. Like a lot of those EU laws, they're super stringent. And compared to our laws, it's like, all right, so make sure you're not under 13. Like that's about it.
I mean, but those German people are still being cataloged by us. They're still visiting American websites that are, creating little data profiles.
Actually, they've had to move a lot of those servers to even have those companies stay in business too.
Well, there you
in the
go.
EU because of that.
Got it. Well,
It's fucked up.
at least they took a fucking stand for it.
Not us, though.
No, we've just bent over and said, stick that fucking corporate dick
That's
a
been
little bit.
America. Like America, we always think of ourselves as these big trailblazing, pioneer, kind of rugged motherfuckers.
Nah, we're the sheep, dude.
But we're definitely the most like bend over and take the dick of the powerful up our ass constantly, over and over again throughout fucking history.
That's why people always talk about this country. Man, people go rise up and do it. It's like, nah, man, we're Americans. We ain't doing shit.
This is
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
People don't rise up here. They fucking
They bend over. Bend over, give them your ass, be done with it.
Anyway, so you asked for some happy news, Paul, at the beginning of this?
I did.
There
I
you
want
go.
some happy news.
Everything's fucked up.
Cool.
That's your happy news. The happy news is it couldn't get any worse, Except it probably will.
Mutant nuclear cannibal ants have escaped.
Yeah, with the aid of
government's
science.
Your
tracking
eyes
your
full
movement.
of worms.
Worms.
Government tracks everything you do.
Too many
It's
fucking
apparently
people.
a fucking felony to steal a shopping cart from Walmart.
We're
anyway,
shooting each other in the street for chicken sandwiches.
Stabbing.
stabbing
sorry.
him. Yep, stabbing in the street.
We haven't elevated it there.
And I think they stabbed each other in the restaurant.
And we can't trust the media. You can't trust the alt media. You can't trust anything or anyone. So it's all just pretty much fucked.
Especially not us.
Yep. Don't trust us either.
Trust no one.
Trust no one.
Even yourself.
It's probably good advice.